So of all the things that I wanted in high school, the thing that I wanted most was to be popular. But I was in the orchestra, which was the exact opposite of being popular. You know, it's the 1990s. I'm in my sophomore year at a high school in Topeka, Kansas. And I'm a nerd. I wear these really thick glasses, and my hair is matted down and like parted to one side. And then the kids, they tease me by calling me toupee, which it really does a lot to bolster my self-confidence. And every single year there's this talent show, and it happens over the course of 3 nights, and it's at the high school. And I know that I am not going to be performing in the talent show, because to play classical music in front of a room full of high school students is like committing social suicide. But then one day, this boy named Jake, he approaches me, and I know Jake, he's a senior, and he's in choir, which means he's like way cooler than I am. And he says that he's putting together this band for the talent show, and he asks me if I would like to be a member of it. Now, in my mind, I'm thinking, well, this is great. You know, people are going to see us hanging out together, and it means that I'm going to be popular, and I won't have to spend Friday nights at home in the basement watching TGIF on ABC crying. I immediately say yes. Now, Jake is related to Carrie Livgren. Yes. Carrie Livgren is a member of the greatest rock and roll band to ever come out of the state of Kansas. Kansas. They are what Chicago is to Chicago, what Boston is to Boston, and like what Billy Joel is to New York City. Now, the song that Jake wants to do isn't Kansas's big hit, Carry On My Wayward Son. It's their much more depressing number, Dust in the Wind. So he tells me that he's also recruited this really great guitar player named Brian. He's sort of like a shorter version of Kurt Cobain. And this the other person playing violin is this very pretty redhead girl named Carla, who's also in orchestra with me. So we get together and we start to rehearse, and we like coast through the auditions. Now, because we had a senior in our group, we were automatically guaranteed a slot, but you know, still it always feels nice to be accepted. So we think that we're doing such a great job that we need to prepare an encore. Now, nobody in the history of the talent show had ever performed an encore. Nobody asked us to prepare an encore. We just decided to do it. And the song that we choose is very popular in 1993. It's Aaron Copland's Hoedown, which is a piece of classical music. It was in those Beef It's What's for Dinner commercials, and so everybody knew what it was. And, like steak references in Kansas, they always go over really well. So the first night of the talent show comes. It's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and the first act, I'm backstage and pacing nervously, and we go on at the beginning of the second act, and it's a really big auditorium. We can seat like 500 people, and we go stand center stage. We start to play, and Brian does the guitar, and Jake, he comes in. He sounds like an angel, you know. I close my eyes only for a moment, and the moment's gone. And then Carla and I, we start to play violin. It sounds like fucking angels, and it's amazing. And at the end, everybody like they applaud, and it's great. And we break into the hoedown, and the audience, they don't know what's hitting them. At the end, they stand up and they applaud, and it's wonderful. And the next day, I go to school, and I'm walking through the halls, and like kids that I don't even recognize, they're saying, "Hey, way to go, you!" and "Good job, toupee." And it feels amazing. And we do it again the second night, and it's even better because the audience, they're expecting it. And so when Hoedown comes on, they stand up and they like clap with us. And the next day I go to school, and even more people know who I am, and I get invited to sit at the lunchroom table, which is like this cherry. And that night is our final performance. It's Friday, and Carrie Livgren himself, the man that wrote the song, is going to be there. And so we play Dust in the Wind, and we do the hoedown, and you know, it's wonderful. And Carrie, he comes up on stage, he gives Jake like a big hug, and then he comes over to me, and I think, well, this is amazing. You know, everybody in school is going to see this. I'm shaking hands with the rock and roll star. But before it happens, the lights go dim, and nobody sees it. But it doesn't matter. Like, I've already solidified my position. I know that on Monday, when I go to school, I'm going to be popular. So I lay out my outfit that week, and I got my Levi's and my paisley shirt with the buttons. And I go to school, and Monday morning, it's like the talent show never even happened. I just go back to being my normal self. But for 3 days in high school, I was popular. And it was 3 more days that I ever thought I would be popular for. I did it by playing classical music in front of a room full of high school students, and it felt great.